song's called One Shining Moment. It is the anthem for the NCAA March Madness College Basketball Tournament. And you know that an event has a lot of attractive magnetism and pull when it can sustain that cheesy a ditty every single year on CBS when they show it. But seriously, it is a huge college basketball tournament and a huge sporting event and very meaningful to many millions of souls in North America. Lots of pull. And this month, I've been reading stories in the Globe and Mail business section. All these business owners are worried that they're losing productivity because all their employees are watching games in the past month on their computers instead of doing work. And you can see the passion in the crowds, right? Not just in the players, but in the parents and in the fellow schoolmates and people who attend the schools that are represented by this series. And I saw the passion in the sermon research team that got together at New Hope a couple of weeks ago. A bunch of grown men, adults, turn into 15-year-old boys when they start to talk about this tournament. And I think one of them, I won't mention his name, Jeff Loomis, started to cry when he talked about one shining moment. I saw tears coming. But if you watch a game for yourself, and I'll admit, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I've gotten up to speed a little bit over the last few weeks. You watch a game for yourself, and there is something about this college basketball series that gets you. Yes, it has sort of all of the sport as a metaphor for life and for the spiritual life lessons in it. It has this very strong sense of God made us to play and to enjoy games and to have this kind of revelry and fun and joie de vivre with our lives. And it communicates powerfully the lesson of teamwork and community and how when we work together in things, we're so much more than we'd ever be on our own. And no single player in this series could win. It only happens when it's a collective team effort. And the Apostle Paul uses that kind of team, community, body image to say spiritually, same lesson. And the series shows, like a lot of sports do, the amazing physiological prowess of human beings, like that God made bodies that have muscle fibers and bone structures and cardiopulmonary systems that can do some of the stuff you see in this series. Is an absolute miracle. Makes you want to stand up and worship God and cheer. Amazing that you could make something that could do that. And yes, March Madness, this series, is all about victory. It's all about having the faith to believe, and like all sporting events, major sporting events in our North American culture, people hold up the texts at the game regarding that faith, the ones that say, we believe. We'll be holding them up as the Flames go into the playoff run, right? Deeply this season. You'll see them all over the Saddle Dome. We believe. It's a sport about victory and faith, about finding that deep satisfaction for our souls on the other end of the game, of coming to glory because we're made to come to glory. And the utter madness of that final victory jump. All those things, all those sporting things are in this tournament, just as they are in the World Cup and Stanley Cup and when people go for the Vince Lombardi Trophy and the Super Bowl. Those things are common to a lot of what we experience and vicariously look for in sport. My question over the past month regarding this sport has been, okay, now what about this tournament and basketball played among this group of people to this end, God? What can we learn about who we are and conversely who you are, because you made us the way we are, through this tournament, through this series? When I was going into the meeting with the basketball experts, and this is probably the one sporting one where I felt most out on a limb, because really I do not know this sport. Don't play. If you hang around afterwards for our game and you see me throwing the ball, I'll be the guy doing this, Like, no gifting, no skill whatsoever. So when I go to the pros with it, the only thing I can feel and sense and read in this sport is there's something about the amateur nature of this NCAA tournament. Something about the fact that it's college kids, and these guys aren't all professionals. They're not being paid big bucks, not yet. only one less, they say, than 1% of them are going to make it to the show, to the NBA, to a real game. So what is it about this tournament? So I go into our planning meeting, and I'm thinking about the amateur thing, and it has something to do with that. And one of the guys who does know basketball well, he starts in. First sentence he says is, "Man, this is a great tournament. The first day is absolutely huge." And I went, why would in my mind, I'm going, why would the first day be? I mean, I can understand the tournament starting, everybody's happy, but it's the end of the tournament that's huge. That's when everybody's really excited. So I asked him, I thought, why is the first day so huge? And he said, well, the first games are best because that's when the biggest upsets happen. You can watch a 13 knock off a 4. If you don't want that, I know you know what 13 means and 4 means, but there's 4 brackets of 16 teams in each bracket that make up 64 teams that all play against each other, one-game tournament, and they work their way to the middle, to the Final Four this weekend. There's 4 teams playing, and then tomorrow night, 2 more teams play. So in each of those brackets, there's a number 1 seed and a number 16 seed, and so the real lure, according to this guy, the real lure about this tournament is to see a 13 knock off a 4. And the moment he said it, I thought, that's it. That's what you're saying about us through this, God. That's what this tournament is all about. It's a Cinderella story. It's about small and weak defeating the big and the strong. It's about the underdog in all of us vicariously winning the day. There's something about this tournament that exacerbates, that really more deeply than other tournaments gets into this David and Goliath-ness in all of us.